Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. So today I'm back with another tutorial. On today's video I'm going to be showing you how to cut an off-shoulder dress with cape. So I'm going to be using this Ankara fabric for the cape and this white material for the dress. So let's get into the video. First thing you want to do is to fold your fabric. I've folded my fabric with the largest part of my body measurement, which happens to be my hips. For a top, like I always say, the bust is usually the largest part, so you fold with the bust measurement. But because this is a dress, we are using the hip, which is the largest part. So for an off-shoulder dress, you always have to minus at least 4 inches from the upper part. You can do 5 inches depending on how low you want it. You can do 6 inches, but for me I'm using 4 inches. So the length of this dress is 40 inches. Take note of where I'm placing my tape measurement. I'm starting by 4 inches from this guideline, this shoulder line I've marked. So the measurement is, the full length is 40 inches. So I'm going to mark 40 inches here. Let me insert my shoulder measurement. The shoulder is, my shoulder is 14 inches divided by 2 is 7 inches. So I'll mark 7 inches here. I hope you can see it. So from here I'm going to place my tape on 4 inches and I'll go down by 4. My armhole is usually 8 inches. So because I've removed 4 inches from where I placed my shoulder, my tape measurement, so I'm marking 4 inches here. This is my 4 inches. My bust point measurement from my shoulder is 9.5, so I'll mark 9.5 inches here. So my shoulder to my waistline is 16 inches, so I'm marking 16 inches here. Then shoulder to my hip, 21 inches, so I'll mark it here. So I'm going to go ahead and insert my measurements. Here I'm going to mark 7 inches. So my bust measurement is 34 inches. Divided by 4, I have 8.5. So I'll mark 8.5 on this line. And then I'll add my 1.5 seam allowance. Then I'll get the armhole curve. So my waist measurement is 27 inches. Divided by 4 is 6.75, which is here. Then I'll add 1 inch for that. and then I'll add my 1.5 inches for the seam allowance. So my hip measurement is 35 divided by 4. I have 8.75, which is here. Then I'll add my 1.5 seam allowance. So I'll connect this. So here, then I'll connect this to this, and this is the hip line, hip measurement. So I'm going to minus 1 inch from the bottom. So I minus 1 inch, and I'm going to connect to the hip measurement. We have the armhole, the hip, the waist, the hip. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. So I'm going to use the front part to cut out the back. I have added 1 inch seam, 1 inch zip allowance. So you can decide whatever zip allowance you want, but from 1 inch to 2 inches is okay for zipper allowance. So I'm going to cut it now. So we are done with the cutting of the off-shoulder dress. So here I have the front part, the front panel, and I've gone ahead to cut a lining. So this is the lining and this is the main fabric. I also have the back, which is 2 pieces, this and the lining. Now we have two back pattern and 1 front. So I also have the flay. This is the flay that will be on the hem of the dress. So it's going to be like this at the hem of the dress. I have a video on how to cut a full circle, so I'll link that video in the description. So now we are going to cut. I'm going to set this aside and show us how to cut the cape. So I'm going to be using this fabric for the cape. My shoulder round is 37 inches. So because I'm going to be turning this, I'm going to be needing some fabric to turn it in, and I don't want to be short of fabric. I'm going to cut 39 inches. Always remember that it's better to have extra than to be short of fabric. So I'm going to cut out 39 inches strip long. So So I folded this into 2. 39 divided by 2 is 19.5. So I'm going to mark 19.5 here. This is my 19.5 inches. So I want it to be 5 inches long, and I'm going to be needing at least 1 inch to join it to the dress part. So I'll use half an inch to join it to the dress and half an inch to turn it in. So I'm going to mark 6 inches because I need 5 inches. So the extra 1 inch is my joining allowance. So I'm going to also mark 6 inches here. And I'll connect. So this is the cape. I'm going to cut it out. So I'm going to cut another one like this. So I've sewn the lining, I've turned it inside out. This is the inside of the back panel. This is the dart. I've also done the same thing here. As you can see, the inside is very clean and well neatly finished. This is what you get when you turn your lining. You get a clean finish inside. So the next thing I want to do for the back panel is to insert the zip. So this is my zip. I'm going to sew the zip to this, and that is that for the back. This is the front. As you can see, it's also clean, neatly finished. All of the raw edges have been concealed, as you can see. So this is what you get when you turn your lining. So the next thing I want to do is to sew the cape together. I'm going to use one to turn the other. So this is the cape. The next thing I want to do is to sew round here and here and cover these two sides, and then I'll use one side to turn it inside out. Then I'm going to iron it and show you. Then this, I'm going to use this to join the two armhole to create room for the arm, and on this panel I will join the cape. So I'm going to sew on this like this, and then I'll attach it to the armhole and attach the other side to the armhole. That way I create room for the arm. This is the other part of it, and after that I'm going to join the flare to the bottom of the dress. So I'm a lining for this, turn it inside out, and then iron and attach to the bottom of the dress. And after all of that, I think that will be the end. I'll come and show you how it looks so far. So guys, this is the cape. I have turned it, I've sewn the two parts together and I've turned it inside out. and I also ironed it. So this is how it looks so far. As you can see, it's beautiful. I'm going to sew the other edge that you are seeing. I'm going to sew it close. So this is how it looks. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up with the other part. I'm going to join the main fabric and the lining together, and I'll show you how it looks. This is the back part. I have attached the zip, and as you can see, it's clean and fine. This is the inside of the back part. So what is left for me to do is to join the front and the back parts together. Then I'll attach the cape and the flare, and that will be all. It's very easy, and make sure you try it and let me know how it came out. So I'll join the front and the back panel together, attach my cape and the flare, and that'll be all. Thank you so much for watching this video.